I will begin by paraphrasing the words of the 32nd U.S. President, Franklin Roosevelt, uttered in March 1933. The times require that we address each other with candor and the decisiveness that the present situation of our nation demands. This is the time, honorable colleague members, to speak the truth, the whole truth, frankly and boldly. And we must not shy from honestly facing the conditions in our country today. Article 95, sub-article 2 of the Constitution mandates the National Assembly to deliberate and resolve issues of concern to the people. We meet at a difficult time for our country and our people. These are not normal times, and we must not settle for business as usual. When we come together as we do today, Kenyans hope we might come up with solutions to the many problems they are grappling with and the many doubts they harbor about the country's future. Majority of us here are elected representatives of the people. The people are our business, and we know they are suffering. From escalating food prices, to escalating costs of secondary education, to rising costs of electricity, and so on and so forth, to lingering questions about the just concluded general elections. Kenyans have concerns, doubts, and fears that we must respond to. And sometimes Kenyans feel that we have tended to abandon them and be cozy with the executive. At this forum, and back in Nairobi, we must agree on how to work for the people and not for ourselves or the executive. And this is apparent, really, from the hue and cry about the very, very serious matter of NGCDF. You know, the suffering in our countryside is manifest. And this comes out clear when you come to the realization that most Kenyans have come to view a fund such as NGCDF as their lifeline. And indeed, if I don't speak about NGCDF, perhaps no one else will speak about it. That's a fund that the NGCDF is a fund that, and GAF of course, is a fund that must be ring-fenced, if only to save our people. And anybody, any authority that would tend to interfere with NGCDF will definitely meet the wrath of the people. The Constitution of Kenya 2010 enhanced our power in the approval and oversight of the budget. That is one of the subjects we are set to discuss here in this seminar. I want to appeal to all of us, regardless of our parties, to ask ourselves to what extent can we support taxation policies that are clearly hurting our people. Don't we have powers to lessen the tax burden in our country? If the answer is yes, the next question is, why aren't we using that power? Again, why can't we ensure that the national budgeting is realistic and based on solid assumptions, including realistic revenue projections? And I say this with all humility. With all humility. And the Honorable Ndindi Nyoro and my good friend Honorable Kimani Kuria, who are the chairs of Budget Committee and Finance Committee respectively, were members of the Public Accounts Committee in the 12th Parliament, which I was privileged to chair. And I've got no doubt about the capacity to lead those very two key committees. We must, as a country, cut our cloth according to our size. We have to do that. This budget that we keep on talking about 3 trillion. In the financial year 2019-2020, which is the last financial year we reported on as PSC, the total national revenue collection was about 1.7 trillion shillings. In a budget of 3 trillion shillings. That obviously leaves you with a gap, a budget deficit of 1.3 trillion shillings or thereabout. Anybody in basic economics class will tell you that is not sustainable. And this house must do something about it. This house must do something about it. When our people say they cannot afford basics like unga and so forth, don't we have the power, responsibility, and mandate to force the executive to act on those complaints? Are we that powerless to be sent by the people to speak and act for them only for us to do nothing? The last time in recent history that Parliament convened while dark clouds of uncertainty, doubts and hunger hovered over the land was in the year 2018, in the midst of the post-election violence. That Parliament that opened on the 15th of January 2008 went down in history as the one that came up with a raft of decisive steps that restored hope among our people. It reset the economy, strengthened existing institutions, and created new ones to improve governance. That Parliament laid ground for judicial reforms, police reforms, constitutional reforms, electoral